Let's do it.
Alright, welcome back to Goonie's World. My name is Goonie, also known as Colin, and I'm here, as always, with Johnny Farrow, also known as Sean.
Hey, mice.
And Loonicorn, also known as Lynn.
Hello.
And Meanie, also known as Ryan.
Hello.
And our special guest, the good Dr. H, also known as Zach.
Hola, mi amigos.
And number 4 of Mausritter
That's right.
Yeah.
begins now.
Begins now. We are playing Mausritter. And our hero mice, Willow, Simon, Fennel, and Squeaky, discovered that the mice of Stumpsville had been kidnapped by pirates and taken to a secret rat hideout near Chimney House to trade to the cat lord Balthazar. And now, with the blessing of the Earl of Bernpyle and hoping to join the legendary ranks of the Mausritter, our mice are questing for a Corgi. That is to find an ally who can help them fight such a large and fearsome creature as a cat. Now, rumor has it that there is a Corgi on the edge of the giant settlements just outside the earldom and the lands beyond. But before we get to that, our little mice need to level up. Now, they got a lot of pips in their last adventures, and they had hoped to go shopping, but I believe they still don't have enough to buy the big-ticket items they want. Isn't that right, everybody?
That is correct.
Yeah.
And part of the reason is because you didn't sell an expensive statue of Isaac the Warrior, which is a cultural hero to the mice and gives them great morale to have that statue. And because you did something for the community, you're able to translate some of what you could have made from that into XP.
Also, all the pips that I found, I distributed the wealth amongst us, didn't hoard it, and because I could have gotten myself some nice new light armor, but I decided those are all our pips.
Yeah, it's a standard gaming question. The guy who finds it get to keep it, or do we distribute it throughout the party? But
Communism.
yes, but Fennel was gentle. But so that our listeners know how you do level up in Mausritter, it's the first thing you want to do is to roll a d20 for each one of your stats, okay? And if you roll higher than, not equal to or higher than, but just higher than your attribute's current value, then you'll get to increase it by 1. And you can all do that. You can just rattle those off real quick. And you can shout yay if it went up. The idea here being that the higher your attribute is, the less likely it will be to increase over time. The lower it is, the more likely it'll be to increase. This is fairly common through... What's that?
Sorry, there's Willow over here screaming yay for his strength and his will, but
Yay.
not his dexterity.
That is great.
Yeah, I got Dex and Will both went up.
Cool.
And does our hit points increase?
We'll talk
at all?
about that in a minute.
Now, right now.
Right now. My strength and my dex increase by 1.
Aren't you lucky? How about our good friend Simon Maker?
So Simon's strength and will went up, but not his dex. And he is down strength, I believe, still. We have not rested full, like a long rest. Or I have not taken any red bar for sure.
Yeah, there's no red bar, unfortunately, in the
Right.
world of...
there's no context for anybody. I apologize.
That's all right. No, we play another game. We have red bar, which we play a lot of Into the Odd Base games, or I run a lot of Into the Odd Base games. And that leveling style is common to most of them. And I believe it was first seen in Call of Cthulhu, though, as a way to increase stats. But your hit dice might go up. Now, in a lot of games, you just roll another die of your hit die and you get that much, but you're just little mice. So we want to roll 2d6, And if that happens to be higher than your current hit points, then take the new amount.
We add those together?
No.
Or no?
You roll 2d6 and add them. And
Okay.
if that happens to be higher than your current hit points total, then they'll go up.
I'm going to have to ask someone to roll for me, as I only brought a d20 and a d10 on the road with me.
Okay.
So.
All right, I'm going to roll for you, and, well, unfortunately, you got a 2. I rolled snake eyes.
Aw.
Aren't you mad that I... But if you don't roll higher, then your hit points will at least increase by 1. So your HP will go up by 1. And I will call them hit points constantly. The term is hit protection, which is supposed to emphasize its more stamina-like nature. Okay, so now you're carrying around a lot of pips, and would you like to put any of those pips in the bank? I mean, they do have a bank here, and you may be able to earn 1% on it if you were to keep them in the bank, unless you think you're going to find some, magical store along the road with discount light armor and all those other items. Or you want to put it in a bank, or you want to hold on to your money?
Yeah, I actually think I'm gonna invest, and I'm gonna put it in the bank.
Okay.
But not all of it. I'm gonna put 25 pips in my bank account.
Okay. All right, and they're happy to do that. Anyone?
I'm going to put 50 in.
Okay. Wise mice. Saving your cheese for a future day.
Willow would like to be a wise mouse. However, the good mouse lord has blessed his family, and he has another mushroom named mouse baby on the way. And so, in addition to Button, Chantrell, Puffball, and Morel, he and his wife are expecting oyster any day now. And so he is going to drop off the majority of that wealth with his wife. As he continues this adventure, hopefully to come home in time to witness the birth of his 5th adorable little mouse child.
And while we were just here, like when you went and visited your wife, you probably impregnated her again
Yeah.
Chances are high. Yep.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more mice
Mice
coming.
have a lot of fecundity, and hopefully your little mouse wife doesn't have to explain a half rat baby to you. She's like, tee oops.
He was a sexy rat.
That's right.
That's right. Might have to go beat up Piss Pants now. Again for that.
Yeah, he's in the dungeons of the Earl Seedfall. But so it's time to go west, young mice, because that is where the lands beyond are, and the settlements, the giants, where the Corgi is. Now,
Fennel goes west.
Fennel goes west. Yeah.
What? How much would have I had the chance to buy heavy armor by chance?
If you had the money, which you probably didn't.
I'd probably
None of
not.
us could even afford light armor,
Yeah.
so
Jesus.
probably not.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
I think
Yeah,
we're
I
all
will say-
rocking somewhere between 60 to 100 or 120 pips or whatever, and light armor is 500. So.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Or sorry, heavy armor is 500.
Yeah, heavy
Yeah.
five. And hopefully you guys can, get enough pips that you'll be able to afford that. Maybe you find him out there in the wild. But yeah, it's expensive to be a mouse, that's for sure. And I've just rolled for the weather, and it seems that it's cool with patchy rain. There's nothing that's going to cause you to have any travel difficulties. But it's explained to you before you go by the Earl's men that to get to the lands beyond, that's some very difficult terrain. It would take you extra watches to move across that terrain. Remember, we measure everything in watches, which is a period of 6 hours. And it would take 8 watches to move there, by land over the difficult terrain. However, by river, the same river you cross twice, which is really a creek to us, but to the mice it's a big river, then that would reduce the time by half. So the real question is, it's almost not a question, is do you want to take the river and do a little boat travel, make yourself a raft? Mice have done it before. Mice don't weigh much, so
We could make rafts out of little leaves and float down the current. That'd be cool.
well, you could definitely get to the river and see what ingredients you might be able to find to make a raft with. Sure. Sound good?
Do we know the Corgi's name?
No, you just heard there's a Corgi there in the land of the
Well,
giants.
maybe it'll have a like a tag or something that we could read, and then we could call it by its name and get its. Maybe that will endear us to it.
Maybe so, maybe so. I guess we'll find out. First things first, we'll get down to the river. Now, remember, that doesn't go right through Bernpyle. You had to walk away about a watch to get to it. But when you get down to the river, and you've heard, again, of rats doing this, and among the things you might be able to build a raft with, there are plenty of twigs, of course. And there are plenty of milkweed pods. And I can think of a couple different ways to use milkweed pods. But there's also some broad, waxy southern magnolia leaves. You might have seen those before. They're green on one side and rust-colored on the underside. And I can imagine making a decent raft with that. Does anyone have any specific ideas of how to go about that?
No.
Okay.
I want to use the pretty leaves.
Okay.
I mean, we could use all of it, I guess.
Yeah, you could.
That's true.
Hedge our bets on what works.
I'm a pretty big mouse, so we're gonna have to have like a nice big like double wide raft for me. But I got the spear I can use to help kind of like gondola us down.
Yeah.
But we're gonna need a big heavy boat for me, man.
Okay.
Oh, well, we could. Is there any trees around? Maybe we could make some bark. We could peel off some bark and use that.
Well, that's actually a good idea, too.
That is a good idea.
Okay. So you guys want to build one big raft for all of you, or are you thinking individual rafts?
Or I think getting split up would be very dangerous on the water.
That could be true.
If we all drown, we'll drown together.
Well, let's just say...
Nobody's gonna drown my little friend. We're gonna make it. We'll build a strong raft, a big boat.
Okay.
An ark.
Well, we can assume that, with the twigs and the bark and the big leaves that you guys can hammer through a quick montage sequence. You guys can get a creek-worthy watercraft together, and Willow can propel it when the water's shallow enough, and I guess use it like an oar when it's not. In a lot of places this river is fairly shallow, even for mice, but here it's not. But you get into the stream that day, again there's occasional patchy rain and it's cool, but it's better than being out here baking. And the stream does run west towards the settlements of the giants, and the current's at a fairly moderate pace. And you go around a lot of large flat rocks like the ones you guys fought Bubba Muggles and the Frog Bandits on a few days ago. But as the watch progresses, the stream widens and it gets quite shallow. Just a few inches, And it's, maybe seems deep to a little mouse. But even you wouldn't probably drown if you were to stand on your little tiptoes and whatnot if you fell in at this point. The stream's widened and gotten shallow, like I say, and there's a lot of leaves floating in it. And it actually goes under the canopy of a huge weeping willow tree. If you've seen those trees, their branches go all the way. I don't see them anywhere anymore. I don't know if there's some conspiracy theory here or what. I've heard something about that something's killing all the weeping willows. But they used to be all over my neighborhood as a child. I'd never see one. But,
well, I see a weeping willow. If I punch him in the gut, I bet he'll weep.
No, bro. I'm a happy, chill mouse, man. You got to really sock me a good one to get me to weep, bro. I would never. I wouldn't. I know you, Phil. You'd never do that to me.
Well, when you mentioned a narc, I thought maybe a narc would make Willow weep. But that's a different kind of... that's a different thing entirely.
It's a different thing entirely. The other thing could be when his little, half-rat baby comes out.
Don't you be talking about Oyster like that, bro. Oyster's all mine, man. All mine, man.
Oyster, piss pants, pip. That's what they're going to... Hopefully not. But I don't know when Piss Pants would have had the opportunity. And anyway, you guys go. The whole stream goes under, the canopy of the Weeping Willow. So it's almost like a green emerald-like light, it's lighting up the stream here as it goes under the edges of it. And suddenly there's splashing from the water all around you, all around the boat. And crayfish leap up, crawdads, leap up out of the water. And you realize these are the fearsome wreckers that some people hear about. They like to wreck little boats and cause trouble. If these are the ones you've heard about, they must be the Scuttle-Bottom Boys. And they're bad news. And you feel like you've got a fight on your hands. And, of course, they've used most of their energy to splash up out of the water at you. But there's actually 5 of them. And it's a dangerous situation. And I think you guys better take your actions. In fact, I don't think you're going to need to make a dex roll to see if you go first. Because they made plenty of noise. And they've launched themselves up, expending most of their energy in this second. So just for fun, let's go ahead and start with Simon. Simon, what do you do in this splash? Crawfishes leap up all around you. And, of course, they're, your size or bigger, so this is not nothing.
Have they leapt up out of the water, or they just leapt up to the surface?
They've leapt up out of the water. They were down wading underneath in the shallow water, and they've leapt up all around and are menacing you around the edges of your watercraft.
Yeah, well, I've got a big-ass sword for a reason, right? So
Yes, you do. And I know you're not the world's bravest mouse, but, in a pinch.
no,
There's nowhere for you to run now.
That's right.
there really isn't, and, he's probably so startled. He's more startled than brave.
Yeah.
It's like, ah!
Natural reaction. Well, I assume you swing that big old sword.
And, not very effectively, though, because it's probably partially, at least due to being startled, he rolls but a 3.
But a 3, but that's not too bad. You'll recall this is kind of a low HP system in a lot of ways. Except for...
Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, except for brave little mice who have lots of HP because they leveled up. But you hit Pinchy. You hit the one known as Pinchy. And it rattles off his armor a bit. So you realize they do have the equivalent of light armor, due to their crawdaddy carapace. But you do 2 HP. And how about Willow? What do? You've got your big sword in your hand. You've also got a magical sword you found, although it doesn't, by and large, do more damage.
Sure. He also knows a thing or two about crawfish, and that they prefer dark. And their little caves and their little nooks and their little crannies. And so the first thing that would pop into his mind is he has 2 torches remaining, light up one of his torches and use it hopefully as a deterrent, along with some just bras. Get back, man. We don't have to do this. You could just go back to your little crawfishy caves and we could just be cool, man. And kind of wave the torch around to see if he can create any dissent or fear within them.
Well, and you're right that they do prefer dim light. It's probably one reason why they waited until the artificial twilight underneath the weeping willow branches. And the Scuttle-Bottom Boys are far too seasoned to be completely frightened. However, I do think it's fair that for the rest of this round, anyone who does attack should get an enhanced attack, as they're momentarily, taken aback a little bit by the whirring flame in front of them. So you wave it around, and then Fennel, you can make an enhanced attack against one of them as he's trying to shield his eyes with his great big claw.
It's D12.
Yeah, an enhanced attack is D12.
All right, well, I'll be using my pirate sword.
And I'll assume you guys just attack the ones who are nearest to your side of the boat. But there's one for each of you plus 1, so...
Yeah, we'll do the
Yeah.
one that's near me.
Well, that's Shelly. That's Shelly. Yeah. It's Pinchy, Shelly, Bubbles, Twitch, and Clawford. The skull.
Well, that's 10 damage to Shelly.
Oh my god, 10 damage to Shelly. Now, Shelly has 4 HP, right? And so... now, Shelly is wearing armor, so she'll take 9 points of damage. But that's going to take her down way below her strength, and she's not the world's strongest. She's going to actually have to roll a 3 or less to avoid... Oh, my God, you rolled a 2. I swear. Just rolled a 2. She's still up. She's not succumbed to critical damage yet, but Shelly's hurt. Shelly's ready to take some damage. And how about you, Squeaky? You would also get the benefit, just for the rest of this round. You'd be the last person to get the benefit from the momentarily blinded. And Bubbles is right next to you. Do you attack Bubbles?
I do attack Bubbles, and I taunt Bubbles, too, about how delicious crawfish etouffee is.
Well,
you look good to eat.
they start speaking, but they have such a thick Cajun, accent that you can't understand a word. Bubbles says.
Sounds like we're at an auction.
Yeah.
They're auctioning themselves
Well,
off.
Bubbles comes from a...
etouffee.
Bubbles is the son of Colonel Bubbles, the famous auctioneer in these parts, right? So how do you do there against Bubbles?
Unfortunately, I only rolled a 3.
Okay, so Bubbles will take 2 of that, and I think everyone has gone, and we will now let our Pinchy. He's hurt, but he's not happy that he got hit with that magic sword. Now they can attack with both their pincers at once, but I just rolled 2d6 and I picked the highest one. I don't apply both of them to you, and it's how a lot of gang up and stuff works. And so you lose 3 HP there, Simon. And so there's that, and then Shelly decides to get some revenge on Fennel, and does 4 points of damage to you, Fennel. And then Bubbles, snap. Ooh, the 6 HP Bubbles. And Twitch and Clawford both gang up on Willow, since Willow's so big and tough looking. And Twitch does 5 points of damage. And Clawford, I roll Snake Eyes again, so 1. And those are separate, so I don't think you have any armor, right?
I do not.
Okay. So, this could be a tough fight, but you think, you hit them 1 or 2 more times each, you could put them down. Meanwhile, they're splashing around. You still have these shafts of emerald twilight, and some birds are now approaching and watching the fight from up above. There's some dragonflies that keep buzzing by, going, kick her ass! Kick her ass! You can't tell if they're talking to them or you. And, there's a buzz by, zzz, kick her ass! And we'll go ahead and use that same attack order. Simon, what do you do?
I can't. Was it? It was Pinchy that I was. fighting,
And Pinchy's weaving back and forth, funny, snapping. They're standing up on their tails in the water. Of course, your boat's still moving, so they've got to keep moving with you.
Ooh, 8. That's gonna hurt him.
That's gonna hurt Pinchy, and Pinchy can't. Oh, well, Shelly might not have been able to survive that. Let's see. Pinchy's going to take 7 of that, and that's knocking Pinchy down. Pinchy's lost some strength. Pinchy's going to need a 5 or less. Shh. Rolls a 5. Okay, these guys are very good, at avoiding critical damage. But, anything you do to either Pinchy or Shelly at this point is straight up strength. And how about Willow?
Well, I believe he will one hand with the torch, other hand with the magic sword, and I think he's coming for Pinchy, and hopefully with one fell swoop just sever off both of his Pinchy's pinchers so that he has a really dumb name from there on out because he won't have the ability to pinch.
Well, if you can roll more than 2, you're going to do it. In fact, you might accidentally kill him.
I rolled a 4. Okay.
Well, the high-pitched scream, just like a lobster being dropped into a pot. You see both of the slow-motion spiraling of the pincers, as they... Hey, one lands in the boat, why not? You might be able to do something with that someday. The other one splashes in the water, Pinchy screams, and then bubbling screams, and floats away to die, because Pinchy has no more strength. Pinchy's gone. Scratching Pinchy off. With a list of woodland creatures. How about our good friend Fennel?
So as we're floating down this river, are we able to like grasp any of the weeping willow branches?
Now, would I put a fight underneath a weeping willow tree if I didn't think you could grab onto some branches? Actually, I did. I didn't think of that at all. I think it's an awesome idea. I think that you would easily be able to.
So I wanted to try something heroic, and maybe it will even give me, what do they call it, advanced, or not
give you an
advanced,
enhanced attack?
Enhanced attack if I swing, get some momentum, and then come in with my sword as I'm swinging,
I think that's awesome. I do think it puts you at a little bit of risk. So let's have a dex save. We don't normally have to do this, but the way you've described it, this is your action, and worst case scenario, you'll fall in the water. But if this works, man, you're swinging in with a D12. So your decks are less on a D20.
Okay.
Swinging right in at Shelly.
I don't know if I'm badass enough for this, but I'm going to try it. And no, I did not make my dex roll.
So heroic, I think you should probably be able to hit Shelly and then, lose your momentum and fall right into the drink. So go ahead and roll your enhanced damage for Shelly, but it's so hard. You hit Shelly so hard that you then go right into the water.
Oh, wow, I rolled an 11, so...
Okay, well, I can just tell without doing the math, that's enough to wipe Shelly out right there. And so, right down between the eye stalks, But your momentum, you go right into the drink. Now you're in there with some other crawdads. And Squeaky, you're still fighting Bubbles.
I'm still fighting Bubbles, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to use my main weapon, two-handed, to get me a little extra damage.
You get a little extra oomph. So you'll have a D8 for that. And she's not happy.
Roll fucking 1.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, Bubbles, Carapace will be able to soak that damage. And are they ready to run? There are 3 of them left. 2 of them died. And I don't think they're quite ready for morale yet, because you know what? They know there's about 1 billion more recruits to the Scuttlebottom Boys where they come from. But Bubbles laughs back at you. And then clip! And I rolled high again on you. Another 6 HP from Bubbles. You're starting to run down. Twitch leaves off messing with Willow and swarms to the water and attacks the floundering Fennel. And I just rolled, 2 6s. So you take 6 HP. You lose 6 HP, Fennel. And Clawford decides... Clawford was pretty close to Pinchy. Clawford decides to get some revenge and moves in, splashes over to Simon, but only does 2 HP to little Simon. And that was it. That was their turn. And we're going to go right back to you, Simon. And now Clawford is on you.
Well, unfortunately, I'm down to 9 strength and rolled a 14 on my critical damage roll.
No! You see poor Simon slump into the boat, breathing heavily. Simon's hurt. Okay, well, I knew this would be a hard fight. So, how about Willow? What do you do?
Willow would, he'll have to, this will be interesting to see what happens. He'll have to drop the torch and reach out his spear, so equip his spear. I assume narratively this can happen this way.
Yeah, it can.
Reach it down into the water, and Fennel, brah, grab on, man.
Okay.
Okay. You're able to haul Fennel back up onto the boat with your turn, which is probably wise, because he doesn't want to be down there in his out of his element. He would have been making impaired attacks if he had tried to do so while in the water. So that was a good plan. Fennel, you're back up on the boat. You can still see Twitch is angrily chasing you back over to the boat. You can see Bubbles, and you see poor Simon laying there with Clawford gloating over him, ready to pinch right through his neck unless you do something.
Not so fat. And I will attack him with just a regular. Now, I'm just using that sword one-handed, so
D6.
it's just D6. Yeah. Okay. 3 damage.
Okay. Well, Clawford takes 2 of that. And how about you, Squeaky? You know, Bubbles is not completely down yet.
Yeah, and it's been taunting me. I don't like that. Etouffee.
Ooh, I rolled an 8.
Okay, that's more like
No,
it.
I'm sorry, I rolled a 6.
Okay. Well, still, Bubbles will take 5 of that. That puts Bubbles down below strength. Only 1 below strength. Bubbles must roll a 7 or less to avoid critical damage. Rolls a 17, does not. Bubbles bubbles back down into the water. You know, her friends will probably grab her later and drag her away. But nicely done. At this turn, at this point now, with Bubbles gone though, Twitch and Clawford decide that discretion is the better part of valor. They did not expect these mice to be so resourceful and heroic. And Twitch says, and says Clawford, and if they could flip you off, no, they do the what do you call this thing with the fist in the air, with the fist up your butt move with their pincers as they splash away, and then the dragonflies are all laughing at them as bad. You got your ass kicked.
Willow will pick up the pincher of the one that got severed off and kind of wave it at him as they go away. You left this one. It's okay. We'll keep it. It's cool. Whatever.
Yeah.
Is there any bodies left?
Well, no, they're kind of like floating away. The ones that are dead.
I'm gonna grab one.
You gonna try to grab a whole body?
Yeah, I really have a hankering for etouffee now.
Okay. Well, I guess, you got your milkweed rope. You could lasso Bubbles just floating away and bring Bubbles back. And maybe you can find a place later. You haul, think of a crawdad relative to a mouse. It takes a couple of haul the crawdad up onto the boat. But, and it goes down in the water a little bit, but you stay afloat. And
these things stink.
I know, but they're delicious.
well, maybe later you can crack open. We can find you some great big lobster crackers or whatever they call those things. I personally wouldn't eat a lobster or a crawdad. I know some people love lobster.
I mean,
it's a giant bug. I won't eat it.
Yeah, they look fucking disgusting.
The bottom.
I haven't had
Ew.
crawdads, but like crabs, all those.
I've had
Were they
crawfish.
mollusks? No,
crustaceans.
Shellfish.
Crustaceans, yeah.
Crustaceans, yeah.
And they're all delicious.
They're all.
I agree.
They are good,
I'm with
but they
Zach.
look so gross.
They do look gross, but crawfish etouffee and lobster and frickin' drawn butter.
Well, maybe you'll
Well,
have
surf and turf.
maybe you'll have a good dinner tonight, but you have a ways to go before you can stop and do that. But it's probably best to move on, and you leave the vicinity of the Weeping Willow. And the second watch that you spent traveling, luckily, is without incident. And remember, this is supposed to be like a 4-watch journey, and you need to rest for one out of every, one watch out of every 4, but it's just the second watch. And luckily, it's without danger. The stream still continues to be wide, though, and a very moderate current, as I say. It would almost be a very relaxing ride under different circumstances. But the forest...
I will try to... if Simon is, hurting, I will nurture him.
Yes,
Yeah.
Simon will need nurturing, and again, if your friends can get to you and stabilize you, you're fine. Now, he's still going to be down strength, but, a brief rest of 10 minutes or so.
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah. Will yield you D6 plus 1 HP back. Anyone who, takes a little rest as they're lying there. And
Ooh.
so anyone who has lost HP, 10 minutes will restore that many at least.
Well, roll me a d6.
Yeah, I'll roll you a d6. Hopefully I won't roll a 1 again. And, Jesus Lord. I rolled a 1 again, so 2 HP.
Yeah, better than 0.
Yeah. So next time somebody else can roll your d6 for you. Oh,
Yeah, I rolled a 6 for me.
oh my, aren't you?
Give me the leftovers.
Well, anyway, the forest thins out as the hours go by. The weather's still, overcast with some patchy rain, but it's not constant cloud cover. That's why it's patchy rain. Some swollen, bruised-looking clouds that pass overhead every now and then. So there's that effect where every now and then it's sunny, and then shade falls again as a cloud passes overhead. But you can still see very far because the forest is thinned out, and you're entering some flatlands. And in the distance, far in the distance, the far western horizon, you see something you've heard about before, but you've never seen in your life. And it's still very far away, like several watches. But you see these immense towers that the giants have built. And these towers are belching foul, poison gases out into the air. This is what the giants do, And that's just kind of an ominous thing on the horizon that you're heading towards. Who knows what these settlements, the giants that you're headed towards, might be like. But it's very shallow here, and it's marshy on either side of the creek. You can hardly tell where the creek ends, and the marshes begin. But there's clusters of tall, dense fox sage and fuzzy brown wool grass. And the dragonflies continue every now and then to buzz by and pester you and giggle. But one of them flies by and kind of hovers there for a bit. He goes, "Oh, mouse nice, very nice. Heading off on a quest, are we?" Zip, and he zips over to the other side of the boat and hovers there for a minute.
Yeah, we're on a quest.
Oh, mighty warriors, eh?
Well, sort of. I mean, we have our moments.
Well, he is, and Simon will point to Willow, but I'll keep getting me ass kicked.
Well, I hope a word gets around with the dragonflies that I swung out on a weeping willow vine and killed a crawdaddy all by myself.
Oh, wow. Amazing warrior. What a great hero. Regular Douglas Mousebanks, you are, eh? Swashbuckler, eh? Well, I tell you, I warn you. If you're heading west, you're going to have to go through some fields eventually, This stream don't last forever, eh? I hope that you don't mind fighting some weasels, huh? Hope you don't mind fighting some grass snakes, huh? Because that's where you're going. The land of the weasels and the grass snakes. Ha ha!
That doesn't sound fun.
Well, you know what else isn't fun? Hovering here in one spot, and he zips over to the other side of the boat and then turns around.
Oh, thanks for the warnings, though.
Oh, yes, my warriors shouldn't need any help from me, though. You just crack them with your big sticks and swords and whatnot. Okay, bye-bye! And, so Dragonfly doesn't like to stay in one place too long. And he takes off with his beautiful iridescent wings shining in a patch of sunlight that comes down. But by the end of that watch, darkness is beginning to fall. Now, you could go on in the darkness. It's not that big a deal. There'll be some moonlight. Mice don't have any problem moving around at night. One of these watches you'll have to stop and rest. But you could go on in the darkness for a few more hours, or you can go ahead and stop and rest for a watch and leave, in the early morning. But either way, you'll be traveling in darkness for a few hours. It's just kind of a matter of whether you want to press on as far as you can and then get rest, or whether you want to stop now.
Well, we probably do need to rest, get our as much hit points back as we can.
Yeah, and your HP will be fully restored by a night's sleep, as well as D6 of any strength loss that you may have had. So if you want to stop and try to find a place. Now again, not a lot of firm riverbank along here, from the way I've described it. But you go on for a little bit to where it's almost dark, sky's a deep purple. And the David Coverdale period of deep purple too, so it's really not as good. But But you do find a place that looks like it could be semi-solid. It's kind of spongy, mossy grass. But there's this huge clump of wool grass there, and there's usually you guys like to find a thicket, or something that big animals can't get into, but there's no thickets here. There is, however, an artifact of the giants that's floated out here somewhere. It's actually what it really is a can of garbanzo beans laying on its side that the label has long since washed off in the water, but it's become stuck in the base of this cluster of wool grass, and that looks like it could be a pretty good shelter, and there's at least some, mossy, spongy grass that you can pull your watercraft up onto. And imagine if you're going to eat this lobster, now do you want to cook it? Because mice can make fires. So if you want to make a fire, well, you guys get the fire going, and you're just about to figure out, let's see, how do we crack into, you're resourceful. Mice can eat anything. But you've got your little fire going. In fact, there's a lovely little picture on the Game Master screen, if anyone listening has this game, of some cute little mice building a little fire. And so that's what you're doing when suddenly there's this huge swooping sound, cluttering above you. And you look up, and there's an immense owl. It doesn't attack you, but it flaps around and jumps up and down. Is acting extremely scary. There's like glowing orange eyes. And then it kind of lands and settles in that spongy grass, towering up over you. I am called Gloam Feather, he says in a what he probably hopes is a very intimidating voice, but he is intimidating. I watch over the borderlands here. I keep out riffraff. I keep out troublemakers. I want to know why you are here.
Are you gonna eat us?
It depends on your answer.
Well, we're on a very important mission. We've got to find a Corgi to help us.
A Corgi?
Yeah.
You know the Corgi?
Well, no, but we know we've heard of a Corgi.
Yeah, we're hoping to meet him.
There's a Corgi on a place the giants have called a farm across the way. However, this stream will run out and peter out, and then you will find a huge field full of weasels. I don't know if making friends with a Corgi is worth it to you to combat hordes of weasels and grass snakes and rat snakes and brown snakes of the worst description. Why do you seek the Corgi?
Well, we need the Corgi to fight some rats.
Psh,
And a cat.
A cat?
Well, yeah, a big cat.
I only know of a few cats in this region. There's Lady Pudding, there's Frey, and there's the terrible, terrible Lord Balthazar.
That's the one, brah. That's the one.
He is an old enemy of mine, Balthazar. He did this, and he points to a place where some of the feathers won't grow, and there's a scar. Lord Balthazar's a cruel tyrant. He derives twisted pleasure in enslaving mice to be his servants and do his bidding, and ultimately, at the end of their labors, provide his dinner. If you are truly enemies of Lord Balthazar, then I will help you. I will, in fact, guide you through the land of the weasels. I will fly ahead and send out word that you are not to be molested. The weasels...
Well, that's very, very kind of you.
Yes, it is.
Like, you also fly, brah, right? Like, we're just a bunch of little mice, and we even got this little can. Like, you could just pick it up and fly us over there.
Do I look like a beast of burden to you? And he rises up and puffs out his chest and, puts his wings in a Jesus Christ pose, and his eyes glow a little more orange.
Cheap conjurer of tricks.
Yeah. Well, I will not so demean myself. I am the Lord of the Borderlands. However, no one will molest you for the rest of your journey. And with that, he flips, I will be watching, and I will send out word. And however he sends out word, he must be great, a feared denizen of the Borderlands if he's so confident that the weasels and the snakes will not molest you, as he says. But after a lovely dinner, and you feel quite good after it, you're able to crawl up in the little can and get some sleep. And anyone who sleeps gets all the rest of their HP back. And then you can roll a d6 and get that many of your attribute points back if you've lost any.
Can somebody who is not Sean roll me a d6, please?
Yeah, I will not roll a d6. Somebody else do it. I would have rolled a 6 this time,
Oh. 2.
God damn it.
Well, it wasn't a 1.
I'm going to go buy a d6.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's unlikely that you'll have to fight any weasels or snakes since you've managed to make an arrangement with Gloam Feather. And it would have been great if he could fly you there. You know what? Before the end of this campaign, you may find yourselves flying something. But only one of you has any experience with flying, and that's Simon. He used to be a sparrow rider. The experience was so terrifying, it put him off of sparrow riding for, But eventually, yes, there's no great dramatic ending to the stream. It just sort of peters out in a broad, nasty pond with a lot of scummy algae on the top of it and some rainbow slicks that speak of, the presence of giants. You must be getting to the Borderlands and the lands beyond where the giants live. And you continue to walk for a while through most of that fourth watch, maybe you leave your boat hidden there, I don't know, in some tall fox sedge. But you reach the edge of what must be these farmlands, because the path leads you along a giant fence that the giants built. They're huge posts, the size of like redwoods to you, that go up, towering into the sky. And you can see some gigantic cows in the distance beyond that fence occasionally. You also see there's a red-tailed hawk circling for a while, but it leaves you alone. Perhaps it's already received word, or perhaps he's an ally of Gloam Feather and he's keeping an eye on you. But it leaves you alone. And then, almost at the end of that watch, there's a stone wall. Now, there's like a tunnel going through the wall. It's actually like a drainage pipe for, stormwater runoff and whatnot. You could go through that, or you could climb the wall, whichever you think will be safer.
Well, I don't know what would be safer. Maybe we ought to stick, have the storm drain has more cover, I guess.
Yeah. Go in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's pretty dark, so let's light up another one of our torches. And let's not forget to mark off, our uses of our torches when we use them. Although you didn't use that last one very long, you could relight it. But it's dark, and you can see evidence of snakes in here. There's scales and shed skin. It's a little bit disturbing, and it's a long tunnel. You can see a tiny little point of light at the end of it, a little round circle of light. But you make it through without incident, and it lets out into a vast garden of huge black-eyed Susans and purple cornflower and Shasta daisies, and beyond that is this immense, it's so big you can't even almost comprehend it, barn and a house that the giants have built beyond that. But in this garden, it's quite beautiful, even though the flowers are obviously way over your head. Suddenly there's a commotion, and you're assaulted by a horde of adorable little kittens who come running out. And of course, a kitten's like, 3 or 4 times your size. But they come running out. They go, Mousy! And they just slam in you. There's going to be a dozen of these kittens. And they start batting you around, smacking you with their claws. Everybody make dex saves to not be grabbed and hurled. And they don't seem like they're trying to kill you. They're just playing around with you, but they're playing rough. So if you fail a dex save, let me know, because you're going to go flying at the end of some claws. Oh, no, Simon's...
Willow failed as well.
What's that, Willow?
Willow failed as well.
Willow and Simon both go flying off into the side of the wall that you just... And the kittens are... Hee-hee! Look, Mousy, fly!
That's not funny now. Come on now.
Now, luckily, Simon only loses 1 HP only. And Willow, you only lose 2. Now, do you guys want to attack the kittens or just try to get away from them or through them somehow?
I think we should run. I think we should get away from kittens.
Yeah?
Well, I think we should warn them that we're under the protection of what's his name?
Yeah. Don't know. Well,
Feather or something?
Gloam Feather.
Him.
You bad kitties. You ought to... When Gloam Feather finds out about this, he's going to peck your eyes out.
Who's
And then eat you.
Who's Gloam Feather? Says one of the kittens.
A big owl, a predator that could carry you off and eat you.
Well,
Yeah, they swoop to the ground and they snatch up little furries, and then they eat them.
well, before this can get much further, suddenly this huge white female cat pounces into the mix over by you and hisses at all of you. But suddenly the kittens and this big cat all slink away when there's a sound of a dog barking. And you hear like boom, boom, footsteps, Jurassic Park style. Boom, 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 boom. And a Corgi comes bursting out of the flowers, and the kittens and the cat slink away. Well, off with you, Lady Pudding. Don't be rude, says the Corgi. He's wearing a little tag that, if you could read the writing of the giants, it would say Sir Sniffles. And I'm sorry, Snuffles. He's Sir Snuffles. And well, hello there, little mice. I am Sir Snuffles. I greet you. I must say you're trespassing here in the garden. This is Lady Pudding's territory.
Oh, we're sorry about that. We came to find you.
Me?
The great Sir Snuffles.
Well, my glory days are behind me, I'm afraid. But don't worry so much about Lady Pudding. She won't molest you further if you stay here longer. She's not bad for a cat, what? So, I tell you, I can't imagine what you would need with me. I'm just an old campaigner. Oh, yes, I moved livestock for 11 years. Dodge those kicks, nip those heels, what? Oh, jolly good campaigning. Yes, I don't really like being relegated to retirement here in the garden with Lady Pudding and her brood, but one gets old, Oh, if I could only have one last battle to prove my mettle. Oh.
Well,
You
brah, man, dog, man. We've got just the opportunity for you.
Oh.
Dude. You ever heard of Lord Balthazar before?
Of course I've heard of him. Terrible chap. Oh, ought to be boiled, yes?
Yes, so he stole so many of our mousy friends, and we're on a quest. We had to come find you out of all of the totally awesome stories we've heard of your conquests over the years, bra dog, and we had to find you so that you could come with us to help put an end to Lord Balthazar and get all of our mousy friends back, man.
Lord Balthazar, where's a young chap? Very powerful. I'll have to dodge those claws, nip those heels, what? But I suppose I have one last campaign in me. Better than sitting here in a shaft of sunlight on a porch and slowly dying, eh?
Definitely.
This will give you a reason to go on living.
Yeah. Well, for a little bit longer anyway. Maybe none of us come back from this one, eh?
Well,
don't say that.
I hope we all come back from this, if I'm being honest. But, you want to write your story the way you want to write it. I'm not here to tell you no, friend. We just need your help.
So you say there are mice in danger?
Many mice in danger, brah. So many.
Well, never had too many problems with mice myself, personally. Could be irritating, perhaps, but they can't help that, can you? So now rats, that's another story. I won't tolerate a rat, but...
I don't know if this would really, sweeten the pot for you, brah, but Lord Balthazar is working with the rats.
Oh, it does sweeten the pot indeed. I tell you, however, we still might need some help. There's a wizard named Suetonius. He's a star-faced mole. Jolly good fellow, really. Bit sad.
Yeah,
but
we met him. He's our bro already.
He's your bro already. Well, that's good. Then I suppose
bro.
he's lent you his staff then to use.
Well, he kind of asked if we could find it for him. You know where it is, man?
Well,
he said that a Fey Raven took it.
Oh, if it's in the land of the fairies, we'll have some talking to do, won't we? Well, if we need to get that staff back from the land of the fairies, we can't lose any time. I suppose. Let's see, how dexterous are you little mice?
We're pretty dexterous.
Well, he lays down on his stomach. He goes, climb up onto my back and grab a tuft of hair.
Okay.
Try not to pinch. There's a good mouse. Yes.
Is this one okay?
Climb on up. Right on my back there. Okay. Now I'm going to leap this stone wall. Are you all ready?
Well, I suppose so.
Yep.
Very well, then. Let us go once more into battle. Tally-ho! Ride for ruin and the world's ending! And he runs and jumps over the stone and tears off across the field, and that's where we'll stop for tonight as you guys ride away on the back of Sir Snuffles.
I spent the last 3 minutes trying so hard to pay attention, because as soon as you said, how many mice, all my brain could think of was the Fuji song, How Many Mics, and it kept, how many mice need to help on the daily? Many monies. And you said many. How many mice? I'm just writing this rap in my...
You gotta stop now, you're gonna get us demonetized.
Yeah, I know. I'd be thrilled if someone were to write some mouse, oriented rap, though, that we could run on our next episode. It probably won't happen, but, if it does, then on the next episode, you're going to hear that right at the beginning. But it probably won't. So I don't want to make any promises we can't keep here on the Goonies World. We'll see you next time.
Hey everyone, if you like this podcast, consider leaving us a good rating and/or review, and subscribe to us wherever you can. We've got a YouTube channel and a Discord server, as well as merchandise available at TeePublic. Find our website at GooniesWorldPodcast.com. Email us at GooniesWorldPodcast@gmail.com. You can find all those links and more at Linktree/GooniesWorld. Thanks for listening.